Suppose the filmographies of Sophia Loren don't contain the most interesting anecdotes about her. The iconic actress's life has been more dramatic than any screenplay, with forbidden Hollywood loves, scandals, and frightening headlines. A surprising event, though, has now occurred, and it has everyone talking. At this point in time, what could possibly disrupt the life of this legendary star? Her most recent chapter's truth will make you gasp for air. With an impressive career spanning over 60 years, Sophia Loren has become an icon of Italian cinema, adored all over the globe for her breathtaking good looks and outstanding acting chops. She broke new ground in 1962 when she became the first actor to ever win the Oscar for Best Actress for an acting role in a foreign language film, Two Women. But there's a lot more to Sophia's tale than stardom and glitz. Underneath her stunning exterior is a multi-talented actress who has become a movie legend. Her success is based on substance, not merely style, as she has often demonstrated by deftly navigating between dramatic and comedic roles. But she started her trip from the lowest of places. Adversity molded Sophia Loren's formative years after her birth in 1934. Romilda Villani, her mother, had ambitions of getting into the acting industry but was thwarted by financial difficulties and societal norms. The untrustworthy engineering assistant Riccardo Ciccoloni abandoned Romilda and her children, forcing her to raise them on her own. Uncertainty and selflessness have always been the defining characteristics of Sophia's world. Things became much more difficult when Italy was engulfed in World War II. Unfathomable hardships were brought about by the confluence of poverty and conflict in the seaside town of Pozzuoli. There was a time when Sophia and her mom had to drink water straight from the radiator of an automobile. The family took refuge in a tunnel for 8 months when the bombing started, during which they endured horrible conditions, dread, starvation, and other hardships. The hardships Sophia endured as a kid did not end with the war. She was sick, malnourished, and vulnerable to bullying because of her unusual features, which included a small build, big eyes, and a prominent nose. While her mother looked for work, she left her in the care of a generous landlady since she was so anxious to provide for her. Despite everything they gave up, they still had a hard time. A doctor suggested breast milk as a lifesaver for Sophia as her health started to decline. The meat supply was further depleted when Romilda hired a wet nurse, who brutally pronounced Sophia the ugliest child she had ever laid eyes on. Stigmatized by society back then. However, she took solace in her unbreakable relationship with her mother, whose strength and devotion served as an inspiration to her. Despite these setbacks, Sophia learned to accept her individuality and persevere in the face of adversity, qualities that would serve her well throughout her life. Sophia Loren always wanted to be an actress, even though she came from humble roots. Who looked strikingly like Greta Garbo, Sophia's love for movies began at a young age. It was as if watching Garbo's films gave her direction in life. Acting was more than a passing fancy, it was my life's work. She frequently expressed her belief that the opportunity to pursue it would have left her feeling unfulfilled. Sophia won a local beauty pageant when she was 14 years old, catapulting her into popularity. At that crucial juncture, her extraordinary journey began. As a result of the win's sway, she was quickly hired to model in Rome. She posed for newspaper and magazine soap operas in the style of comic strips there. Sophia was able to hone her acting chops and express herself through these dramatic stills. Despite its unusual nature, the event catapulted her to fame and set the stage for her subsequent professional success. Sophia changed her name and went through a metamorphosis as her fame increased. A magazine gave her the name Sophia Lazzaro when she was 16 because they thought it made her seem more refined. A second name change, however, altered her persona not long after. Sophia Loren was proposed by a film producer who wanted to increase her popularity. Loren took her name from a Swedish actress, and the non-Italian spelling of Sophia was an intentional choice. This new persona was a powerful step toward fulfilling Sophia's objectives, therefore she accepted it. She started her illustrious career under the dazzling new identity of Sophia Loren, which catapulted her to international recognition. Not everyone admired Sophia Loren's distinctive look, even if she had early success in beauty pageants. A cameraman angrily said that her face was too small, her lips too big, and her nose too long during one of her early film sessions. Still, she met Carlo Ponti, the man who would become her husband and a pivotal character in her life, on that exact set, so fate was in play there. Carlo Ponti didn't instantly come to Sophia's aid after hearing the cameraman's harsh comments. He instead delicately proposed that she think about getting plastic surgery to conform to the beauty standards of the film industry. However, Sophia was unwavering. She was unyielding in her refusal to conform. Adamant that her individuality was an asset. She was unique and will be defined in part by her unfaltering self-assurance. Throughout her career, Sophia Loren continued to question accepted notions of beauty. She rejected plastic surgery in favor of her own self, in contrast to many of her peers. On the contrary, directors and cameramen quickly adapted to her. In order to bring out her remarkable characteristics, they adapted their approaches by changing the lighting and perspectives. What made Loren unique was her unflinching honesty. She once famously said, "Why change your body and be somebody else if you are happy inside?" She became an everlasting icon of beauty via her gracefulness and self-acceptance. Loren planned to take on Hollywood once she dominated Italian movies. She made a daring jump in 1957. Arriving in America and obtaining parts opposite Frank Sinatra and Cary Grant, among other renowned performers. This was a watershed moment in her career that catapulted her to superstardom on a global scale. When Loren finally made it to Hollywood, she encountered an unforeseen challenge. Cary Grant and Frank Sinatra adopted her because she was a non-English speaker. With their gentle guidance, she was able to overcome the language barrier and feel completely at home on set. What may have been a terrifying ordeal became an uplifting one because of their generosity. The friendship between Sophia Loren and Cary Grant deepened. They became close friends despite Grant's image as a troublemaker. By standing up for Loren, Grant prevented her from being stereotyped as an object of sexual desire. Grant stepped in to prevent the publication of a cartoonist's insulting portrayal of Loren. Their relationship was distinguished by reciprocal adoration, which was shown in his protective personality and respect for her abilities. It didn't take long, though, for the adoration and friendship to hint at something deeper. Cary Grant and Sophia Loren became quite close while filming The Pride and the Passion. Their bond transcended friendship, even though they were 30 years apart in age. Their friendship blossomed into something deeper, as Loren detailed in her memoir, ultimately guiding them to express their emotions through joint prayer. Sending flowers and messages full of adoration were sincere expressions of Grant's profound appreciation for Loren. She attracted him with her youthful charm and his global experience. In one touching note, he shared his ambitions of forging a future with her. His love moved Loren to tears, praising him as an honest and generous man whose demeanor she was deeply moved by. Their pre-existing relationships, however, made their connection more difficult. Loren was associated with Carlo Ponti, who was married, while Cary Grant was married to Betsy Drake. Both men wanted to marry Loren, but she chose Ponti anyhow, knowing full well that there would be criticism and scrutiny if she chose the other. Loren was afraid of the repercussions of making such a decision after seeing the severe punishment Ingrid Bergman received for a comparable case. Because of the security and empathy Carlo Ponti offered Loren, she decided to remain with him. In retrospect, her decision was colored by her deep roots in Italy and her familiarity with Ponti's cultural norms and principles, as Edoardo Ponti, her son, clarified. Despite Loren's profound feelings for Grant, she was led to make her decision by the comfort and belonging she experienced with Ponti. Even as they were filming Houseboat, their second collaboration, rumors of a romantic relationship between Loren and Grant persisted. It didn't help that Betsy Drake, who was Grant's wife at the time, had been the film's original writer and star. There was already a difficult vibe on site before this extra layer of tension arrived. Speculation around Loren and Grant was aided by the media, which caused some to believe that Loren was responsible for the pressure in Grant's marriage. The director of Houseboat, Melville Shavelson, expressed his displeasure publicly, saying that the actors' obvious chemistry made filming more difficult. Critics, however, eventually theorized that Shavelson's gripes were an effort to deflect attention away from the film's underwhelming reception. Casting doubt on Shavelson's claims, the New York Times Review attributed the film's dismal result on its mediocre narrative and directing. No matter how strong the attraction between Loren and Grant was, their romance was short-lived. Loren opted to stay with Carlo Ponti because she treasured the life and family they had created together. Loren has stated that she does not regret her decision, realizing the joy and satisfaction that marriage brought her. Cary Grant never officially proposed to Sophia Loren, she said in an interview from 2020. Her devotion to Carlo Ponti was unwavering, even if she coveted his charisma and skill. Loren went on to say that her marriage prevented her from having the conventional white wedding that she had always wanted. Houseboat, in which she co-starred with Cary Grant as a bride, was ironically her only dress rehearsal. Carlo Ponti was chosen by Loren instead of the most eligible starring guy in Hollywood. Why was this? We will discover. The intricate and transforming relationship between Carlo Ponti and Sophia Loren was no picnic. They met when Loren was a preteen and Ponti was a famous film producer with a wife and 2 kids. Their bond became stronger as time went on, despite the vast age difference and Ponti's marital situation. Ponti had an important role in Loren's life, both professionally and personally, as her manager and mentor in addition to being her loving companion. Even before they met, Ponte had helped Gina Lollobrigida get her start in the industry by discovering her and casting her in a number of films. Having said that, his friendship with Loren was the most consequential. She blossomed into the legendary actress the world would love because to Ponte's father and protecting position. However, there were many challenges throughout their love tale. They couldn't tie the knot because of Italian legal and religious constraints. Married in Mexico by proxy, they were dead set on being together. But there were legal issues and charges of bigamy because of this unusual arrangement. For a long time, they were quite careful, staying in different hotel rooms while using false identities to evade detection. They were able to legally marry in France in 1966 after much persistence. Like his work, Carlo Ponti's life was full of twists and turns. He was almost jailed during World War II for making Piccolo Mondo Antico, a film that the fascists saw as anti-German. Even in his senior years, he was not afraid to take on contentious projects. The Massacre in Rome, 1973, which was accused of smearing the reputation of Pope Pius XL. Even though the accusations were eventually dropped, Ponti appeared to be plagued by legal issues all his life. When the Italian authorities invaded Loren and Ponti's luxurious San Marino property in 1977, it was a huge blow for them. Suspicion of tax evasion had been aroused by Ponti's intentions to relocate his company operations overseas, leading to claims of illicitly transporting artwork and monies valued at millions of dollars. Further complicating matters, the couple's villa was seized and they were fined a hefty sum as a consequence of the subsequent investigation. After a 4-year hiatus, Ponte was once again the target of a legal challenge in 1981. Along with his friends, he was accused by the Securities and Exchange Commission of falsifying paperwork to finance film ventures and scamming investors. Penalties were harsh as a result of the case. Included the Italian government's seizure of Ponte and Lorenza's highly valued art collection. It was tragic when they lost their art collection. As part of the legal actions against Ponte, the $6.7 million collection was seized, which included works by renowned artists. In the late 1980s, the couple succeeded in reclaiming the collection after years of fighting legal battles. Sadly, that wasn't the last of the difficulties. Further legal complexities and challenges arose in 1982 when Sophia Loren herself encountered tax-related issues. A watershed moment in Sophia Loren's life came in May 1982, when she was arrested at Fiumicino Airport, a stunning turn of events. The famous actress shocked the public and the entertainment business when she returned to Italy after a decade-long hiatus to confront legal issues. The tax evasion case that led to Loren's arrest had its roots in the early 1960s. After years of pursuing the matter, Italian authorities finally sentenced her to 30 days in prison, after she had resided overseas to escape legal consequences. Loren accepted the sentence, intent on confronting the matter directly, even though the case threw a cloud on her homecoming. Loren clarified that her choice was very personal, despite widespread speculation that she was trying to reignite her acting career by returning to Italy. She said that the difficulties she encountered were dwarfed by her love for her family and hometown. Loren made the sacrifice despite her unfairness feelings so that she may find closure and a place to belong. But her incarceration was far from routine. The fact that Loren was given a private cell with nice amenities is a clear indication of her star status. Even though her original sentence was 30 days, she only ended up serving 17 days. However, her legal issues were far from resolved. Loren fought with the Italian tax authorities for another 4 decades over a different issue. There was a disagreement over a 10% disparity in her tax liability. Her accountants wanted a 60% rate while the government wanted 70%. The long ordeal came to a close in 2013 with a favorable ruling for Loren by the Italian Supreme Court. She never wavered. Instead, she vowed to forget the past and live in the present. Although prison loomed large, nothing could compare to the specter of that fateful night that would remain etched in Sophia Loren's mind forever. Achieving stardom is a goal for many, yet many are willing to give up in order to achieve it. The capacity to lead a regular life is taken away, even though it gives possibilities and recognition. Maintaining privacy or normalcy is next to impossible when everyone is watching your every move and you feel the weight of the public eye on you all the time. Even though Sophia Loren has been a symbol of grace and beauty for decades, her popularity has not been free of its consequences. She has been greatly influenced by the demands of fame and the constant scrutiny from the public eye. A dreadful robbery that occurred at Loren's New York City apartment in 1970 was one such difficulty. Her suite at the Hampshire home on Central Park South was broken into by 4 armed burglars while she slept, and they stole jewelry worth $700,000. Her private refuge was invaded in the most horrifying manner, causing her a profound sense of trauma and shock. The theft was well organized. Before breaking into Loren's suite, the assailants subdued 4 hotel staff. Under the pretext of maintenance personnel, they broke into her room and attacked Loren and Carlo Ponti Jr., her small son. Loren was coerced into relinquishing her cherished jewels due to the explicit fear of physical harm. She gave up and gave over about $1 million worth of items out of fear for their safety. After then, the robbers ran away, leaving Loren and her kid terrified. The culprits evaded capture despite thorough investigations. Loren and her family choose to relocate to Switzerland from New York City following this horrific occurrence. Loren discussed the experience in a subsequent interview, elaborating on how the relocation was critical to their well-being and feeling of safety. Far from the mayhem of their previous existence, Switzerland gave them a peaceful and secure atmosphere. Loren was unfazed and determined not to let that experience color her perception of the Big Apple. She decided not to let the vigor of the city she formerly called home be overshadowed by a single incident, even though she knew that crime is present everywhere. She ended up finding a peaceful existence in Switzerland, as the experience only served to strengthen her desire for that. At 90 years old, she still values the tranquility and safety that her Swiss home offers. Even if Sophia Loren's narrative is shrouded in mystery, her star continues to shine brightly. She is more determined than ever before. Albeit I've been dealing with some health issues as of late. In a heartfelt and adoring ceremony, Sophia Loren recently marked her 90th birthday. A video of the emotional surprise that her longtime friend, fashion designer Giorgio Armani, had planned for her birthday dinner and uploaded on Instagram captures the heartfelt moment. Loren is visibly moved as he gets serenaded in the clip. As admirers from all corners of the globe flocked to the comments section to gush over her evergreen grace and classic good looks. Since Loren has avoided the spotlight in recent years, the party took on further significance. After the difficulty she endured after a fall last year, her admirers were overjoyed to see her looking so healthy and beautiful. Her resiliency was on full display after the accident that fractured her hip and femur. She needed surgery right away. Thanks to the unwavering support of her loved ones, particularly her sons Eduardo Ponte and Carlo Jr., Loren has been making a steady recovery, demonstrating her unbreakable will. Loren is as graceful and charming as ever, and it doesn't matter that she's getting older. She gave the simple yet profound concept of acceptance as an answer to the question of how she deals with age. She thinks that the key to staying young is to embrace the passing of time and to realize that genuine beauty resides inside. Belief in one's own beauty is the only thing that can make a woman more beautiful, she famously stated. A reflection of her self-assurance and ageless knowledge. Loren's impact goes far beyond the iconic roles she has played in film. She has encouraged others who choose to pursue acting to devote themselves completely to their art form, sharing her words of wisdom in the process. Despite being 90 years old, she is eager to return to Hollywood, demonstrating that passion for art knows no bounds. Loren has marked cinematic history indelibly, beginning with her breakout stardom during Hollywood's golden age and continuing with her son Eduardo Ponte's critically praised directorial effort, The Life Ahead. Going beyond her artistic endeavors, her dedication to charitable work and causes she believed in showcases her strong character, solidifying her place in history as a cherished icon of elegance, brilliance, and motivation. Stereotypes could not hold Loren. Contrarily, she sought out parts that tested her abilities and gave her the chance to make an emotional connection with viewers. The things that have propelled her to success are her unwavering commitment to her work, her insatiable appetite for storytelling, and her determination to not allow setbacks define her. Being more than simply a lovely face has always been an ambition of Sophia Loren's. She hopes to use her platform to deliver tales with depth and emotion.